I saw a clip today of Pope Francis speaking for the first time after his double pneumonia diagnosis and what he's been going through, and they were talking about how out of breath he is. But I think I sound worse without pneumonia from having to walk up this hill to Memorial Gym.
And this is my first experience in this gym, in this environment, and Wes, you take me up this massive hill, and I'm like, where are we going? And we're here. This is amazing. This venue is awesome. Again, first time here. I didn't know what I was getting into.
I love it. I love it. Thank you guys for joining us here in Hazard, Kentucky at historic Memorial Gym. Wes Smith, Brady Kennedy, Hometown 24. Brady, what was your first impression walking up the hill and seeing? Have you been in this gym before?
No, and halfway up the hill, I started smelling the popcorn. And I started walking a little bit quicker, and then I got more out of breath, and then I needed a water, and now we're here. I just got my breath back.
Something that you will experience in this 14th region tournament that you do not get at basketball games in the Lexington, Northern Kentucky area, Brady, is when we hit up the concession stand later. And I don't know about here, but I know tomorrow at Knott County Central for sure. Wait till you smell that fried bologna sandwich.
I'm not a bologna guy.
Oh.
I'm ham and cheese. Ham and cheese, man.
Oh. Well, Brady, I'm glad it's your first experience the region tournament. It's been, man, I wish you were here Monday. We talked about those first-round matchups and how crazy they were, and it proved to be just that, some huge games. And, you know, now those teams have advanced. We're back here in the next round, and two really good games we're going to watch today between Hazard and Letcher Central. Todd Howard and Keith Baker and their teams going up against each other. And then in the next game, Breathitt and Knott Central, Coach Brandon Hayes, Coach Megan Mosley. Listen, I don't know who I can cheer for at this point. I love all four of these coaches that are playing tonight and have so much respect for all four of them. And they've all four got great teams. I don't know who I can cheer for.
I think we're cheering for good basketball.
That's it.
That's all we're going to see.
Yeah.
And I was fortunate enough to be able to watch all these games at home with Hometown 24. Wasn't able to make it the previous ones, but I tuned in, and, I mean, it was high-level basketball around. I mean, I think the name that keeps coming up when we're watching this and hearing everybody talk is the parity. Every team going into every game with all these games, we even saw it last night in the boys, and then the night before, everybody's got a chance to win, which is exciting.
Well, and we talked about, they call it March Madness for a reason. All those things can happen, especially when these teams are this close, Brady. And you start thinking about your senior year for a lot of these girls and how it means so much. And, you know, this first game coming up, Letcher County Central, quite a few seniors on that team, but then Hazard quite the opposite, a really young team. You're going to see a ton of freshmen and sophomores out here on the floor tonight for this Hazard team. And I don't know if you got to tune in the other day when I talked to Coach Howard after their win, but I asked him how he uses motivation. You know, a lot of coaches will use seniors as motivation. You know, any game at this point could be your last. Mm-hmm. So I said, what's it like for you for a young team? And he said he would take his experience against any other team with these girls. And, you know, talking to the players and the team and Coach Howard, it seems like playing together for so long how they are, they're not worried about, you know, they have seniors and stuff, but they're not worried about that on the floor. They're worried about playing for each other and having fun.
Yeah. We talked about this a little bit ago. It's when you're young, you're naive. And when you're naive, the pressure kind of comes off you. They're not – some of these girls, they might be their first regional tournament game, and they're not scared. Their season might not be any, much less their career.
Yeah.
So you're going into these games, they're playing maybe a little bit more loose. As a senior coming in, this could be your last time you step and put a jersey on. So there's a little bit of a catch-22 where it's almost better to be young. Just go play. So that I see both.
I agree with you, and I've thought about that. You told me that, and I had never thought about it in that perspective. I think we brought that up talking about some NCAA tournament teams and how when some of those teams are young and naive. And, yeah, I mean, that makes perfect sense. A lot of these girls, if you're a senior and this could be your last game, imagine having to go to the free throw line and making 2 free throws. Or imagine trying to think in those scenarios. So it is a little bit good catch-22, like you said, and I think that's something interesting to see tonight. On the way up here, Brady, walking up the hill when we could catch a breath and talk, we talked about Hazard loving to play fast. And you said in the game you watched, you noticed that with Hazard liking to get up and down the floor.
What stood out to me was their attack. They want to get, and they're constantly wanting to play fast. They want to create turnovers, create havoc. They want to get downhill. And I feel like Letcher is a little bit of the opposite. I think Letcher, although still wants to put up points, I'm going to be interested tonight to see, like, how do they contract that and balance that, because if they get an up and down game with Hazard, I don't think that's what they need to be doing.
I agree. I was fairly impressed with Hazard. Maddie Fronapple does an amazing job at looking up the floor after a rebound. If she gets the ball in the open court, she's looking, and she'll hit people up ahead.
Yeah.
You don't see that as often in girls basketball, but Brady, she'll throw the no look. You've got to be ready for her when she's got the ball coming up the floor and hitting open teammates. And like you said, I think it's going to be interesting. Like you mentioned to me before the game that Letcher County Central actually scores more points per game than Hazard, even though Hazard likes to play that fast.
Yeah, and I think looking at this game is, again, I think creativity defensively on Letcher County's.
Yeah.
Like, how are they known to do some different defenses, right? Like, to get them off their game, because the best way to beat a junk defense is just don't let them get set up, you know?
Right.
And so what are they going to throw at them? Because I think you got one shot.
Yeah. Coach Baker's going to throw out a lot of defenses, like you just mentioned, and it is going to be interesting if Hazard gives them time. You'll even see Coach Baker in the same possession sometimes switch up defenses. He's a zone defense coach. He loves to play zone. And it's going to be interesting because I think Hazard, the way they play and the way they move the ball, I honestly think Hazard's going to be able to make some cuts behind the defense. And I think Fronapple is able to find those players when they find those gaps in the zone and play behind it. So, man, it's tough. I think Letcher County Central might see a better shooting night tonight. I feel that in my bones. I don't know if that's going to happen. But they're capable of putting up points like that in a hurry. So,
which we saw a great performance by Paige Dameron in the first matchup. Senior leader, is this going to be her tournament, right? Like, you see the way Letcher, they're a unique team because they're very balanced in their scoring. Like, there's not someone that's scoring overly the top this year. They've all provided. So really, we might see someone completely step up differently than what we're even expecting.
Absolutely. Well, and it's so funny, right? And you mentioned this earlier with younger teams, and the more you start thinking about that, in some of these games, you might have a team full of seniors, and once that pressure starts getting to them, it could be someone unexpected, a younger player step up and make a huge play down the stretch. So look forward to that, too. You never know, Brady. So many things could happen. I do think this is going to be one of the better matchups of the tournament. You think about Knott Central in the later game tonight, they're probably the heavy favorite. I don't know that Breathitt County, although they've been amazing, especially Combs the way she's been playing this season, I don't know that they were ever predicted to be a favorite in the region tournament. Maybe they have exceeded some expectation from what people had for Breathitt. But when you look at a game tonight in these two, in Letcher County Central, and you look at Hazard, you think about Knott County, you think these two teams, think about all the battles Letcher County Central and Knott County Central have had in this region tournament throughout the years. These are two teams coming forward that I'm sure Coach Hayes is watching this game tonight thinking, if I'm able to make it past Breathitt, big if I'm able to make it past Breathitt, which one of these teams do I want to play against?
And you're going to get potentially Hazard on their home court. And we saw that last night in the Knott County game. It helped. And it's dangerous. What you're saying? What was the saying that you all said? You said when you're at your home court, they were saying that you know where everything is.
Oh, you know where everything's at. Josh said you know where everything's at.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, I misspoke there a second ago. I said Coach Brandon Hayes in Knott County Central. Obviously, Coach Megan Mosley in Knott County Central. But I'm sure she's watching this thinking, who do I want to see if I make it past? And if I'm Brandon Hayes, I'm thinking the same thing. If I make it past Knott, which one of these teams do I want to see?
Here's the thing. When you're this deep into a tournament, everybody's good.
Yeah.
It's
madness.
going to come down to how do you stay in your routine. It's just another game. Although it's not, you have to make it to your girls that it's just another game, a little more on the line. But, I mean, this is what it's all about.
This is it, baby. This is what you've played all season for. I actually got to talk to Coach Brandon Hayes the other day, And I was telling him, it's hard to get that point across to your players, right? When you play all season long and every practice, every late night, every early morning, every game, blood, sweat, and tears. This is what it was for.
Yeah.
None of that matters at this point.
And so when you're approaching a game, right? It's a quick turnaround, and then you can't be focused on the next game, right? Although they're playing tomorrow, so
right.
Stay in the moment, Blue.
Stay in the moment. Stay in the moment. I'm excited for it. The band's starting to gear up.
I know.
There's nothing like. I hate going to a game when there's no band. I hate it.
Really?
The atmosphere's not the same.
I'm kind of a DJ kind of guy.
I love a mix.
Okay, yeah.
Oh, yeah. If I go to a game and it's only DJ, I'm upset. If I go to a game and it's only band, I'm upset. You got to have them both.
I'm just excited about the popcorn.
I was just telling Josh, we booked it out from Lexington for viewers that are unaware. Brady and I both live in Lexington, Kentucky, but we have so much of a love for mountain basketball. This is where we want to be come tournament time. So we booked it down from Lexington. We haven't gotten to eat, and I cleared some space up walking up that hill. I can eat pretty good now.
You're talking about that hill, man.
I am. It's worn me out.
It is.
It's worn me out. Excited for this game. Excited for the people we get to see. Just got to see our friend Kyle Maggard a minute ago. I'm sure his face is in this gym somewhere for wrestling. But got to see him. Always excited to see people you don't get to see too often. Here to watch some mountain basketball. Brady, one of the things that often gets brought up, and I do want to mention, since we've got time, Josh hasn't signaled that he's going to cut me off yet, so I want to pose this question. Most regions you watch at this point are played at some neutral site.
Yeah.
They may be at a college floor. They may be at a convention center. 14th region, one of those few regions left where we are here in a high school gymnasium. I feel like it brings a different atmosphere.
It does. It's non-commercial, right?
Yeah.
It's authentic. I grew up in the 10th, so playing at Mason County was always something that was great this time of the year, and then you kind of just rotate, right? But again, like it's where they played all year.
Yeah.
I love it. I mean, the band echoes off these walls.
This is what it was made for. And there are some beautiful gyms here in the mountains. And to be able to bring those fans, not only beautiful, there's so much history in these gyms.
Yes.
And you think about some of the games that have been played in these gymnasiums just means so much to these fans. And the players. When I played at Clay County, I didn't want to play at the Corbin Arena growing up. It didn't exist, but I wouldn't want to play. When I think about Richie Farmer playing at Clay County, I think about the games that Bobby Keith coached, Russ Farmer, all of those guys, and that's where I wanted to play where they played. And I think a lot of kids in this mountain area feel the same way about their gym. And we were just at Knott County Central the other night. We were here on Monday night, and we were here throughout this tournament. The crowd, Brady, is just different. It's packed. It's full. The pictures you see people post online of the gym, it's just a beautiful thing.
It is. And I think expecting a big crowd tonight, Friday night. Friday nights for basketball. You got Friday night lights for football.
Yeah.
I think tonight we're going to see a big crowd out here. And I think it's going to be good because then tomorrow night we're right back here to crown a champ. How do you, as a coach, how do you prepare your girls to not look forward to tomorrow's game?
That is also something I've been thinking about lately. I was just talking to some coaches over in the second region where I coached at the last couple of years. It's more spread out. Madisonville North Hopkins played 2 nights ago. They don't play again until Sunday or Saturday. No, they don't play again until Tuesday.
That is. That's common.
They've got 5 days, 6 days to prepare.
This is one of the regions that's done first.
Yeah.
I know Northern Kentucky, they haven't even started.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's done first, and it's kind of crammed in. Like you said, you only have a couple days to prepare.
You know what that means, though?
What's that?
Momentum. Momentum's real. And that's what I think you could see tonight with Letcher County. They played well last night. How do you keep and stack momentum to continue it? Because you can do it in this tournament.
You can. It is harder to keep momentum if you're going to have to practice for 5 days in between your next game. So I think that is good. Plus, you probably get that little added extra break. Coach probably isn't going to run you to death when you only have one day in between games.
Running's over at this time of the year.
It's
if
over.
You're running, you're in trouble.
You're in trouble. If you're having a condition at this point. So you get a little film in, and I'm a big fan of film, and no, I think that's a great point. I almost like playing that close together. I remember those days as a coach. You're not getting a lot of sleep right now.
I mean, you see it in the NCAA tournament. I mean, you get a guy that you saw. What was it? St. Peter's. They won back-to-back. They beat Kentucky, then Purdue.
Yeah.
That's momentum. I mean, if you give those teams weeks in advance to prep, that's not happening.
Agreed.
But that's what it's all about.
Absolutely. You can hear the band, Brady. I can smell the popcorn. I can taste the Diet Dr. Pepper on my lips right now. It is March Madness, and I'm so excited about it. I used to be the kind of guy that wanted to start this show down in the band, this pregame show. I don't know. My age is catching up with me. I don't know that I could even hear down there anymore.
And I couldn't even play the instrument, After up that hill, I don't think I have the lung capacity.
No, absolutely not. This is my first time walking up the hill. The last time I did this show here in Hazard on Monday night, the Hazard City Police was gracious enough to drive me up the hill. That didn't happen this time, and we missed the trolley. Missed the trolley, but man, I was telling Josh the other day, I hadn't realized it, but every time I had been to this gym, I'd been on a bus because I was coaching or playing. And I got dropped off at the front door. I pulled up here the other day, and I didn't know where to park. I was like, I don't.
Which, you bring a good perspective. What's it like playing on this court?
Oh.
Is it a shooter's gym?
I only played one game on this floor as a player, and it was a very ironic game. And he could be listening tonight, and I hope he is. I would love to give a flashback for him and some memory. But my only game I ever played on this floor as a player was for Coach Kevin Spurlock, his first year at Clay County High School, and guess where he coached the previous year? Hazard High School. So one of his first games back as a coach the next season at his new school was his previous school here at Hazard. So needless to say, it was a physical game we played in.
Is it a shooter's gym, in your opinion?
I did not think so.
But you're not. Are you much of a shooter?
If you ask Coach Preston Spradlin, I'm not. However, it's one of the few things I was allowed to do as a player. Dribbling was not one of them. It's an odd backdrop that you're not used to in high school basketball. It goes further back. You've got the seats. Most high school gyms, you have that solid background, and I think it probably causes some issues for some players. Obviously, it has not caused a crazy issue for Evan Eversole this year at Hazard High School, but for a lot of players, it does. So I think you do. If you're Hazard, you have an extra home court advantage if you shoot in this gym every day.
Absolutely, and it's tight, which is great. And then you've got the memorabilia around, and I like the bench seating, the wood benches. Yeah, that's just my initial take. I love it.
It's still got the history. I was really impressed. They did some remodeling to this gym recently, kind of redid the floor, but at the same time, they kept some of that historical perspective, and I think it was great. It's about game time. What do we got on the clock here? Almost 10 minutes, and we'll send it down to David Adams and the crew courtside. Brady, if you're superstitious, this is about the time that I would go down to the floor and rub Keith Baker's head before the game to give him some good luck. So you never know. If according to who it is after the game, him or Coach Todd Howard, we might have to give him a little head rub going in to the championship round of this tournament. But it's about time for basketball action.
Let's do it.
All right. We'll send it on down to David and the crew courtside.
Great communities attract talented people to live, work, and raise their families. We're committed to delivering future-proof broadband so our friends, families, and neighbors can live rich lives in smart rural communities across America. Your community is our community. We're your rural broadband partners. You do great things. We make great things possible.
My name is Emily, and I'm from Laurel County. When I was searching for a college, I wanted to find a place that felt like home and where I could make a difference. The moment I stepped on Alice Lloyd's campus, I knew this was where I belonged. There's a sense of community here and a focus on serving others that you can't find at other colleges. For me, it wasn't just about continuing education. It was about being a part of something bigger. Apply now to find your home at alc.edu.
For over 100 years, the Bank of Hyman has been committed to serving our community and serving the future of our families, homes, and businesses. With our new convenient online banking, viewing your account balance and history, transferring money, and paying bills has never been easier or more secure. And with the construction of our new headquarters, we've renewed our promise to Hyman to stand by our customers even in troubling economic times, because we're not just your bank, we're your neighbors. That's the Bank of Hyman. Log on to www.bankofhyman.com or give us a call at 606-785-3158.
What keeps you going? Your love for the game? Your teammates? A victory? At ARH Orthopedics, our goal is to keep you pain-free so your body can keep going. There's no time for discomfort in your joints or ligaments caused by an injury. ARH Orthopedic providers specialize in treatment plans, from non-surgical and surgical options, so your care is entirely centered around you. Visit arh.org/ortho to find an orthopedic provider near you. ARH, more for Appalachia.
Welcome, sports fans. Welcome to Hometown 24 and WYMT as the 14th Region Girls Basketball teams will battle it out tonight in semifinal action. First semifinal will be, of course, the game we'll have right away, and that's Letcher County Central and Hazard. And immediately following that, it will be Breathitt County and Knox County Central. I'm Manus Blair, joined by Jim McCauley, and once again, David Adams on the men, and we're wishing David Adams a speedy recovery, and hopefully he can be with us tomorrow in our 3 games that we'll be doing at Knox County Central and here at Hazard with the championship. Jim, Letcher Central and Hazard, your first thoughts on the matchup?
Well, I'm really excited about it because these teams are such contradictory in styles. Looking at it from what we've seen this year, we've had both teams several times. It's going to come down to if Letcher Central can handle the pressure of Hazard and how Hazard's complementary scorers do tonight. I really think that that's going to be a big deal because we know right now Maddie Fronapple is the real deal.
She's the real deal.
And she is such a good teammate because she finds the open player. Now, what's going to matter is if those open players can knock down the big shots. And they did the other night against Perry Central in the first round of the 14th region. And on Letcher's end, Manus, it's going to have to be kind of a scoring by committee. You're going to have to have a good game out of Kara Holcomb, and she's not shot the ball incredibly well the last couple of games. But any time she can go off for big numbers from the three-point line. And then, what Paige Dameron and Molly Caudle can do as well in handling the press and getting them set up into the offense and making shots.
And, you had Scarlett Stamper with 12 rebounds in that game, and we really thought she had more than that. You had Hazard. They had 5 people in double figures, and they're going to be hard to handle throughout this tournament. In this game, especially tonight, if they can get 5 people in double figures, Fronapple, sometimes she is unselfish to a fault.
Yes.
Sometimes she needs to take those shots.
And I thought against Perry, she kind of did.
Yeah.
She didn't take the number of shots that.
Right, and the thing about it is, it's hard to criticize someone for looking past first, especially when you're the point guard.
Yeah.
But Average had a very good shooting game the other night, and if she can come through and make those shots, it just improves the overall scheme of Coach Howard's offense. And Fronapple once again is the head of that offense, and she's always looking up the floor. Transition, she looks to Eddington. Eddington sprints 84 feet as a 5-person or a 4-person, trying to beat her person to the other end. So, I think it's going to be a mixture of defenses, and initially it's going to be man-to-man by both teams, and then see how it plays out. Both teams will play zone 1-2-2 and 2-3 as well.
Yeah, when you pick, you build your team around your point guard. It's kind of like the quarterback, the hind catcher.
Right, exactly.
And, Fronapple, we've watched her all year. And, guys, she is John Stockton I mean, some of the passes she makes, you see, are just unreal.
That's a good analogy. I hadn't thought about that.
You know, she's great in transition, but she can also make two-handed bullet passes 50 feet. And that's something we don't see a lot.
As a freshman.
Yes. So, you know, I don't know how Letcher Central, you know, how do they combat that? Do they come out and try to play pressure on her to keep the passing lanes closed down? Do they drop back in the zone and make Hazard shoot them out of it? But Maddie Fronopple's a problem.
Yeah, she's definitely a problem, and I envision Paige Dameron probably being a part of guarding her at the point position. And if not, if you're in that 1-2-2 that Coach Baker uses sometimes, then you definitely put pressure on the ball to keep her from making those chest passes into the inside. So, you know, as we look and, you know, talk about it, they did not play this year, so that tells you can't get a read on how they played each other throughout the, you know, the year and everything. So, you know, I think it's just going to be a really good matchup. I think one of the advantages that Letcher Central has, they play a few more people than the Lady Bulldogs do. So if it gets to be in a fouling competition kind of or a fast whistle, I guess is what I'm trying to say, like you and I talked before, then I think that hurts the Hazard Lady Bulldogs.
You know, I think, you know, when you look at this game and you know, you kind of know what the givens are, but what usually wins the game are the things that we don't expect.
Those X factors.
And I really think that the matchup between Eddington and Bailey is going to be a really good matchup for both teams. Who can control the boards? Who can get the second chance points? Those are going to be a big deal for both teams.
And, you know, the thing comes down to it, we always say it over and over and over again. 50-50 balls, live turnovers that lead to easy baskets, and knocking down free throws. Neither one of these teams are exceptionally good free throw shooting teams. So the other night, Letcher Central was 11 of 26 from the free throw line. They cannot shoot that badly if they expect to win this basketball game.
And, you know, you talked about Everidge. I thought Everidge had a great game against Perry Central. Always, I felt like this year she's consistently been a good attack-the-basket player. You know, she primarily in the past had went to her left.
Yeah.
You know, we saw her go to the right several times.
Knock down threes.
That's what I was going to say. She was very good knocking down the three-point shot. Now, if she has a game like she did against Perry, it's going to be tough going for the Cougars.
Yeah, and, you know, especially if the Cougars go to a 1-2-2. But, you know, the thing about it is, Letcher Central, they've got to make the easy buckets. Bailey, like you said, going against Eddington, she has to be aggressive when the ball goes into the post.
You know, and last year against Hazard, Bailey had a huge game in the regional tournament.
Yes,
probably her best game of the year last year.
Yes,
and
I do remember that.
You know,
and that's the last time these two teams faced in the regional tournament was, of course, last year.
Yeah. But we're about ready to tip it off here, get the anthem, and hopefully this game can live up to the billing of we've had some incredible games here in the opening rounds. Now as we move on to the semifinals, will that continue?
I surely hope so for the viewers out there, and thank you for tuning in tonight on WYMT, Hometown 24, Facebook, YouTube, and WYMT.com.
Big crowd tonight, man. It's starting to fill
already
up. Really nice here.
So if you're watching this and expecting to come on over for the Knott County Breathitt game, you better be getting here if you want a parking spot or shuttle from downtown up and get here and get you a prime seat. So
good.
looking forward for everybody having a good game. So stay with us. We're going to take a break and the national anthem, and when we do come back, we'll have an outstanding game between Hazard and Letcher Central. So stay with us.
No matter what town or community you live in, there's a Tim Short dealership nearby. That's because our family of dealerships are dedicated to serving the folks throughout Eastern Kentucky. Our employees are your friends and neighbors, helping to support the local economy and provide safe and affordable transportation to everyone that shops the family of Tim Short dealerships. Our entire inventory can be found with the click of a button at timshortautogroup.com. Visit us online and join the thousands of customers that took the short drive to satisfaction today.
Hi, I'm attorney David Jones. You may recognize me from some of our other ads, but injuries from an auto accident are no joking matter. With over 25 years of experience, our offices have the resources and expertise to go head-to-head with big insurance. While most of our cases get resolved without going to court, trust me, they know if the attorney you choose will take it this far. Either way, our clients get paid. So for all your legal needs, get the pros on your side.
Home sweet home. At First Federal Savings and Loan of Hazard, we've been providing our friends and neighbors the sweet dream of homeownership since 1960. We're proud to support the community we work and live in. That's why we take so much pride in providing competitive rates, low closing costs, and quick turnaround by local decision makers. Investing and growing our community is what we do. At First Federal Savings and Loan of Hazard, we believe that there's no place like our home. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Just want to watch the game.
Dad, turn on the ceiling fan. Use the gray remote. Hit power, then input.
It's not working.
That's the silver one.
It might be difficult to understand what all the remotes on your coffee table do. But with a Kentucky Farm Bureau agent in every county, at least it's easy to get great insurance. Kentucky Farm Bureau, big on commitment.
Next time, I'll just go to the game.
A lot has changed in 100 years. We've gone from the Model T to the electric car, from silent film to home theaters, and from the telegram to the iPhone. And through it all, People's Bank and Trust of Hazard has been there for local people. From paper checks to debit cards, from wire transfers to online banking, People's Bank has maintained a tradition of service while embracing the future for your financial needs. Celebrating a century of service to the mountains. People's Bank and Trust. Member FDIC.
TVS Cable has everything you need to stay entertained. Video services with all your favorite channels and local sports on Hometown 24. Ask about digital voice service for home and business. High-speed internet so you never fall behind in a game. There's something for all ages. We've got you covered. Sit back and enjoy everything TVS has to offer. Stay connected with TVS.
Since 1962, Citizens Bank and Trust of Jackson has been proud to serve the community. They care about the people of Breathitt County and are the only locally owned bank in the community. With 2 branches in Jackson and 1 in Beattyville, they're never too far away when you need them. And with the latest innovations in banking, keeping track of your finances has never been easier. Helping to grow Breathitt County as leaders for over 60 years. That's Citizens Bank and Trust, member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
My name is Isabella, and I am from Madison County, Kentucky. Instead of choosing a larger university, I chose to attend Alice Lloyd College because I wanted a more personal college experience. The small class sizes provide a close relationship between students and professor that isn't possible at any other university. ALC is more than a place to learn, it is a place to grow, serve, and lead. Learn more at alc.edu.
Welcome back to historical Memorial Gym, as we will start with the first semifinal between Letcher County Central and the Hazard Bulldogs. Excellent rendition of the national anthem by one of, I think, Brandon Klutz. I thought that
was beautiful.
Football member of Coach Chandler's football team. Excellent rendition.
For tonight's game, beginning with the visitors on the scoreboard,
And
the Letcher
we'll start
Central
with the
Lady Cougars.
starting lineups. And
Starting at guard,
first for the
senior,
visitors on the scoreboard will be the Letcher County Central Cougars, 20-12. Number 1, senior forward, Kara Holcomb, averaging 10.7 points. Number 5, senior guard, Paige Dameron, averaging 9.6. Number 52, junior center, Allie Bailey, averaging 8.4.
A junior, number 25.
Number 25, junior forward, Scarlett Stamper, averaging 4.5.
A sophomore, number 4.
And number 4, sophomore guard, Molly Cottle, averaging 6.5. And the Letcher County Central Cougars are coached by Keith Baker in his 8th year at Letcher County Central. Winners of 7 of their last 8. And now for the home team on the scoreboard, the Hazard Lady Bulldogs, 16-12 on the season. winners of 4 in a row,
Starting at center.
coached by Jeremy Todd Howard in his third year. Number 0, sophomore center, Kaylee Pennington.
At guard, freshman number 5.
Number 5, freshman guard, Maddie Frontapple, averaging 17.9 on the season.
Junior number 10.
Number 10, junior forward, Carly Davidson, averaging 5.3.
A sophomore.
Number 11, sophomore guard, Laura Everidge, averaging 10.8. And number 15, sophomore forward, Braylon Eddington, averaging a double-double, 10 points and 10.7 rebounds. Once again, Hazard Lady Bulldogs coached by Jeremy Todd Howard in his third year at Hazard. Once again, the officials will be supplied by the 13th Region Association.
You know, Manus, in the pregame, I failed to mention, you know, a couple of the players coming off the bench for the Cougars that had a really big impact on the Estill County game, and one of them was Emma Pavlik.
Oh, definitely.
You know, she came in defensively. And
in that
really,
1-2-2.
Yes, those long arms.
Oh, yeah, yes.
And had a couple of nice deflections and steals there.
As the official will go in, and Eddington and Bailey will, and it will be controlled by Hazard. And it looks like Coach Baker comes out in that 1-2-2. Davidson to the baseline, cut off by Bailey. Looks like it is not a 1-2-2. It looks like it's a box and one.
Yeah, we kind of talked about that a little bit.
And Dameron is guarding Frontapple. Davidson 3 doesn't go. Rebound comes down to Dameron. Hazard back on defense quickly. Hazard man-to-man. Dameron coming off the screen, got up open avenue and puts it in. Good start for the Lady Cougars.
Yeah, and Dameron pretty much the whole time there, she's very aggressive with the basketball and came in, took a good shot. She's got a little bit of a size advantage too.
And once again, it is a box and one. And I'm sure that Maddie Frontapple has seen this and Coach Howard has seen it before. Everidge trying to get into the zone, back out, gives it to Frontapple. And the ball's going to go out of bounds, and that's going to be a turnover. And the ball, Eddington trying to get it to Eddington. Eddington was going backdoor. Yeah. Dameron will walk it up as Hazard will pick up half court.
You can see, you know, quickly trying to get these guards involved for the Cougars.
Stamper back out, and that Bailey aggressively goes to the boards, and she's going to lose the basketball, and that'll be a turnover on the Lady Cougars. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in tonight. I think we're going to have a good one.
Oh, yeah.
Average to Pennington, and they'll split the post. Pennington with a pump fake, thought she's going to take it. Average will take it. It's going to be off. Rebound's going to come down to Stamper, and she is going to be fouled after gaining the rebound.
Number 15, Eddington.
And it's going to be on Eddington, her first.
And, you know, you talked earlier about, you know, Hazard doesn't play a lot of players, primarily 6-player rotation for the Bulldogs. And they could ill afford to have anybody get in early foul trouble.
And, you know, the officials of the 13th have let them play predominantly in these games. Bailey goes up. It doesn't go. Rebound's going to come down to Pennington.
Yeah, got a good look there, but drew a lot of crowd.
Average has the gap, goes up, and misses it. Rebound's going to come down to Stamper, already with 2 rebounds.
Yeah, Stamper, you know, such a scrappy little player.
Not a lot of size and height, but she gets after it. Cottle goes in a little bit too deep, and it's going to be a tie-up, and the ball will stay with Letcher County Central.
And, you know, you can see they're trying to get the ball into Bailey like we talked about earlier, but Hazard very quick to collapse 3 people down on her.
Right, because Bailey's looking to be very aggressive like we were talking about. She had to be. Cottle having trouble getting the basketball in, and there will be a 5-second call. Turnover, Letcher Central.
Yeah, and that's something the Cougars can ill afford. And that's kind of been a bugaboo all year for the Cougars.
Yeah. Front Apple bringing it up against Dameron. Pennington with a fake, 16-footer, it's off. Rebound is going to come down to Stamper.
Stamper with the third rebound already.
And there's going to be a foul call. And if that's Eddington, nope, it's on Davidson. That's going to be her first. Coach Howard saying something to the official. Thought he should have been a foul call on the drive.
Yeah, those Bailey and
that's going to be a holding foul.
I was getting ready to make the comment of how rough it was on the inside.
And Bailey was trying to get position, and that foul's going to go against Pennington, and that's 3 team fouls in the first 3 minutes for the Hazard Lady Bulldogs. Kicker to Holcomb, wide open, and it goes. That's a good sign for Letcher Central.
Yeah, when Holcomb gets hot, she can score in bunches, and one of the more premier outside shooters in the 14th region on the girls' side.
That's her 83rd three-pointer on the year. Average roll spins, and it's blocked out of bounds. And, a lot of times, and it looks like Bailey's, she's got a broke nose, and she's got that mask. But she's a tough young lady.
Yeah.
But there's two words of thought on how to attack a box and one. A lot of times coaches will just run their man offenses. Other people allow them to press, and that's a turnover. Dameron pushing the basketball up. Sure, Coach Howard does not want open looks for
Holcomb. No.
Holcomb, no. And that's a high throw, and it's going to get away. Turnover. Davison looking up, and Eddington is sprinted out. Front Apple goes down to the middle, turns off the board, doesn't go. It's going to be tapped out by Hazard, and it will be Letcher Central basketball.
Well, the box and one appears to be giving Front Apple a little bit of trouble right now.
And Pennington's going to come out, and Maggie Combs, who had a really good game with 13.
I was very, very impressed with her.
Had a very heady game. Hazard picking up a little bit sooner now on the Lady Cougars. Basketball goes to Stamper, goes into Bailey, but Eddington's there to knock it away.
Yeah, and you can see primarily Letcher Central really wants to go to Bailey down low, but Hazard's height really making it tough.
And, they're putting pressure on the basketball, and I say that all the time. If you put pressure on the basketball, it's hard to make any entry passes. Goes into the backcourt. Stamper has the basketball. Cottle, 3. Doesn't go. Rebound's going to come. Nope. It is an over-the-back foul or a push on Allie Bailey. And that's Allie Bailey's first, and the first on the Letcher Central Cougars. Good shot by Cottle, and of course Cottle had 4 of those in the second half the other night to spur the Letcher Central Cougars.
By bringing Combs in, gives you another shooter out there to make it a little more.
And there goes Everett. She has it, misses it, and 4th rebound for Stamper. Once again, the screen in the row goes all the way to Stamper. Cottle into the lane, loses it, and that's going to be a turnover. Average with a kick to Davidson. Goes into Eddington, turns,
nice
gives it up.
Pass.
And that's the score for Front Apple.
Nice pass right there. Hazard really pressuring Dameron with the basketball.
Stamper gives it up to Cottle, and she loses the basketball. Front Apple's going to go straight in, lays it off the board, and quick 4 points for Front Apple and the Hazard Lady Bulldogs. Yeah. Now here comes the press by Hazard after the made basket. Dameron gets it
looking
across.
Inside again. Bailey's got position in there.
Thought they may go high-low. Right hand misses it. Eddington with a rebound. Combs behind the defense. It's a little long. And it's going to be a turnover for Hazard.
Yeah, a lot of turnovers here early on in the game.
And Baker will come in for Caudle, and Pavlik will come in for Bailey for Letcher Central.
I said Pavlik really long, really good defensive player. And Baker can knock down the three and handles the ball well.
And she'll bring it up. Crossover dribble. Looks to give it up. Pavlik has the basketball, has the avenue, gives it up to Stamper. And it's going to be a walk on Stamper. Another turnover for Letcher Central, three in a row.
And, we talked early, that's been the Achilles heel for the Cougars all year, just really careless with the basketball.
And, if you make turnovers, you don't get anything up on the glass and any chance of scoring. No. And there's Pavlik you were talking about. She gets her hand on another basketball.
Yeah, long arms, and she's so good at those deflections.
Average turns, spins in, gives it up to Eddington off the board and lays it in, and Hazard has gone ahead 6-5.
And, Hazard is such a good interior passing team, and we've seen that time and time this year. The Cougars need to find us, get them a good bucket right here. And
there goes Holcomb, and Eddington did not have guarding position, and that's going to be her second foul. And they're going to give Holcomb 2 shots, 70% on the season.
Yeah, the best free throw shooter for the Cougars by far.
Oh, yes, definitely. First free throws of the night for either team. First one is good. And Pennington is going to come back for Eddington, who picked up that second foul.
And, Eddington out of there takes away a lot of what Hazard likes to do.
Yes. And, of course, you saw 2 or 3 times what we talked about, sprinting 84 feet out in front. But
yeah, she's very critical in their transition offense, and she's got such long arms, and she alters a lot of shots at the goal.
Holcomb makes both of those, and Dameron, as front apple, tried to kick it back out, knocks it out of bounds.
Correction on the recent substitution for the Lady Cougars. It was number 21, Katie Baker.
Kick out to Everidge, and she's wide open. 3 doesn't go. Rebound's going to come down to Baker. Nice box out by Baker. Dameron's going to bring it up, and Coach Baker makes a new call.
I may see if Baker brings Allie Bailey back in now that
Pavlik gives it up, and it's going to be a turnover. Front apple looking up the floor, crossover dribble, and Pavlik's going to steal it. 1 against 1, now 2 against 1. And she walked, tried to sidestep. Yeah. And when she did, she took an extra step.
Yeah, she had Dameron open on the other wing.
I don't think she ever saw Dameron sprinting down the floor to make that, as Higgins will come in for Hazard with 18 seconds to go.
We talked about Higgins in the pregame show. Very good outside shooter.
And Higgins stepped on the sideline. So a lot of turnovers, kind of sloppy right now on the behalf of both teams. Dameron will bring it up under 10. Screen 4, is she going to be able to get it off? Somebody's got to get it off, and it's going to be the end of the first quarter with Hazard ahead 7-6. And we'll be right back to say the second quarter, so stay with us here on WYMT and Hometown 24.
No one likes an uninvited guest, especially when that guest is a potentially dangerous pest. So call Bluegrass Pest Management and let the pros take care of your problem. Locally owned and operated for over 40 years, providing much-needed jobs to local people. With 3 locations in Hazard, London, and Hindman, they treat rats, mice, roaches, bed bugs, termites, and many more. Open Monday through Friday and now servicing all of Kentucky. Say goodbye to your uninvited guests today. Call Bluegrass Pest Management.
This is the 4th app. I don't remember any of these passwords.
With so many subscriptions, it can be impossible to keep up.
Who said that?
Don't worry about who I am. Worry about all the money you're losing paying for all these subscriptions.
I have to use like 13 to watch all the shows I want to watch.
Then sign up for TVS. With TVS, you have all your favorite shows with just one bill. So stop throwing away money and throw away those subscriptions.
Magellan, what should we do with all this money we save by switching to TVS?
And welcome back to historic Memorial Gymnasium as we move into the second quarter. Hazard will have the basketball up 7-6, and looks like Bailey has came back in and Cottle has came back in, and looks like now Cottle will be the one with the chaser on front apple.
And I like that. Keep a fresh player on her. That's a good move by Coach Baker. Ooh.
Average has the gap, misses with the right hand, and Combs will knock it out of bounds, and it will be Cougar basketball.
You know, Average we saw the other night, she couldn't miss. And tonight, you know, she's having a hard time putting the ball in the hole. She's gotten some great looks.
Ball comes into Cottle, and Dameron takes off with the basketball. Screen off by Bailey, misses it. Bailey with an offensive rebound and puts it in.
And that's, you know, that's where you miss Eddington in there. That allows Bailey to get the free rebound, and nice transition offense by the Bulldogs.
Kicker three, Davidson misses it. Rebound comes down to Higgins to front apple, turns, pivots, average three, and it's long. Rebound's going to come down to Cottle, and it's going to be a tie-up. And the basketball will go to Letcher Central. And guys, I apologize for calling the score out. Letcher Central is on the gas on the scoreboard, so it is 9-6. I was going by the brackets, and I should not be going by the brackets.
Somebody's got to come and help Cottle.
And Cottle's ball is deflected, and there's going to be a timeout for Keith Baker, and that will be a 30-second timeout as Letcher Central was close getting a 10-second violation, and rather get that, he took one of his timeouts.
Yeah, a good smart decision by Coach Baker.
And, you know, you've mentioned already about Eddington with the 2 fouls. Does Coach Howard continue with her on the bench, or does he take a chance in placing her back into the game?
You know, I think as low scoring as this game is right now, you know, I keep her on the bench. Now, if Cougars would jump out to 8 or 10, then maybe bring her back in. But right now, I think everything's well under control for the Bulldogs.
And, you know, Letcher Central, they cannot continue to turn the basketball over. And, you know, Hazard's got to get somebody other than Front Apple involved in the offensive game. And Average has had some looks, and she needs to knock those down.
Yeah, and I would imagine that Hazard has probably took 3-1 more shot attempts than the Cougars.
Holcomb having trouble, goes all the way through. Cottle goes in, puts it up, misses it. Rebound's going to go off Stamper, and it'll be Hazard basketball. Some other big girls games tonight, the 15th Region Championship over Pike Central, Lawrence County, and Johnson Central. So we'll try to keep an eye on that score as the night goes along. Front Apple is fouled as she takes it into the middle.
Yeah, you know, that's the first time that's the first shot attempt, is it, for Front Apple tonight?
Let's see. No, she's made 2. She's made 2 baskets, so that's probably their third shot as she makes the first one, 69% on the season. You know, Hazard in the last game was 7 of 13 from the free throw line, and just like Letcher Central, got to knock the free throws down. As David Adams always says, Front Apple misses the second. Stamper with the basketball back to Dameron, and she'll work it up. Hard screen by Holcomb.
Yeah, I look for him to try to go to
and another turnover.
Yeah, that's
long throw to Combs. She catches it left hand and put it in.
Nice.
Nice pass by Front Apple. Nice catch by Combs. Use the opposite hand. Dameron goes in, and it's blocked.
Yeah, wild shot by Dameron there.
And here comes the Lady Bulldogs. Combs with an out dribble, kicks it back to Davison for the 3. It goes.
And just like that.
It's 12-9. It's a 6-0 run. And it's knocked away from Dameron, but there's going to be a foul call.
I think the foul's on Dameron, isn't it?
The foul is on Dameron. You're exactly correct. That's going to be her first.
Number 5, Dameron, her first.
And Pavlik will come in for Caudle.
And I don't know how many turnovers already Letcher Central's had, but I'm sure it's close to 8.
Yep. And Pavlik now will guard Front Apple in the box and 1. Average into the lane with a floater off the board, misses it, goes after a rebound, but Pavlik will get it. Gives it up to Holcomb, and we've got a scrum. Stamper comes out of there. 12-9 as we near the 5-minute mark.
Yeah, Hazard overplaying the ball so much. There should be all kinds of cutters that open up for the Cougars.
Everything one pass away is being taken away. So anytime that happens, you either have to go backdoor or you have to set some solid screens. Goes into Holcomb looking to get Bailey isolated on the block. Holcomb being double teamed, and it's taken away. Combs bringing it up, gets it to Average. Into the lane, nobody gets her right open and lays it in.
And Average loves going to that left side and so effective when she can get moving towards the goal on that left side.
And that's her first 2, and that's going to be a hand check on Higgins, looks like.
Lady Bulldogs, number 4.
That's going to be Higgins' first. It's going to be Higgins' first foul.
Correction, her first.
Goes into Holcomb looking, and there's the
nice entry pass.
There you go. Bailey had done a nice job of sealing her person off. 4 points for Bailey and a nice entry pass by Holcomb. Average into the lane, comes up off the board, misses it. Rebound comes down to Dameron. Pavlik behind the defense, but Dameron does not see her. Dameron splits everybody, and it's going to be a foul, and that looks like that's going to be on Higgins as well.
Yeah, Higgins has did a great job applying pressure to the ball, but a little too handsy that time.
Well, you know, as a dribbler, if when you're a defender, you're trying to make them uncomfortable, and they are doing an outstanding job of making the ball handler feel uncomfortable. Goes into Holcomb. Will they try to enter it this time? They do not. Go to the 4-minute mark. Hazard up 14-11. And another turnover on Letcher Central.
You know, it's the same song and dance for the Cougars, just really having a hard time with the pressure defense of the Bulldogs. You know, they're hedging every handoff pass. They're coming out and pressuring the ball.
Ball will be put in by Front Apple, and it's stolen by Pavlik.
Pavlik does such a good job.
And she's going to throw it away as Davison shot the gap. And it's going to be a tied-up basketball, and it will stay with Hazard.
Jump ball possession will stay with Hazard.
You know, Pavlik does a great job defensively. When she gets the ball, you know, that's when it becomes a liability.
Yep. Baker in the basketball game for Pavlik.
And Baker gives them probably, she may be the best ball handler on the team.
Davidson open 3, doesn't go. Rebound comes down to Baker. Looks up to Holcomb. Holcomb into the lane, and shot was blocked. And it's going to be a walk.
A lot of contact down there that time.
Yeah. We're, of course, about 55 feet away, and it's going to be stolen by Dameron. There goes Baker, and it's going to be a 1-against-1. She sidesteps off the board, misses it. Rebound's going to come down to Combs. Front Apple out in front will go in, and she will lay it in, and Holcomb commits her second foul.
Foul is on the Lady Cougars, number 1.
And that will send Front Apple back to the line for
Front Apple at the line for
one shot to try to complete the three-point play. And Wright will come in for Stamper. Holcomb's going to stay in there with her 2 fouls, and Hazard playing well on the defensive end without Eddington in the basketball game. Front Apple completes it.
You know, with the guard play, the pressure on the guards, the ball is really not getting into the post to become an issue for
And
that
when it
defense.
has, Bailey's been able to do something with it. Front Apple with 8 points. And as you said, they're just automatically switching on any screen out front, the Bulldogs are. Hannah Hatton will come in for Dameron.
And, you know, the thing is, when they're putting that much pressure on, you know, you've got to attack the defensive player with the basketball. The more that you back away from it, it more allows the defense to
keep right on coming. And Holcomb is going to be fouled by Pennington, and that's going to be Pennington's second foul.
The Lady Bulldogs, number 0, Pennington, her second.
And Higgins is going to come in, and Caudle for Higgins is going to take Pennington, and Caudle will come in for Holcomb. Comes into Caudle, back to Baker, and it's blocked by Davison. Average with a rebound, looking up the floor.
So now into a traditional 2-3 look.
And Front Apple shoots it and misses it. Rebound's going to come down to Average. Turns, pivots, got the avenue, misses it. Right with the rebound.
Now, Wright, you know, for the size, a good three-point shooter.
Baker 3, it's off. Higgins rebounds. Front Apple off the board.
Nice move by Front Apple. Showing a little strength right there, going into the contact and making the bucket.
Give her 10 on the night as we near the 2-minute mark in the first half.
You know, the Cougars have been very successful going into the post.
And there, Allie Bailey has the position up against Average and goes up, and it's knocked away. 3 against 3, Average goes in, kicks it to Combs, and it's knocked away, but Front Apple rescues it. Spin by Average, jumper, and it's off. Rebound comes down to Baker. Gives it up to Hatton. Hatton will shoot the jumper. It doesn't go. Rebound to Higgins as the pace is sped up.
It's definitely very frenetic right now, Manus.
Higgins skipped past to Average. And it's knocked away, and Davison picks it up. Goes into Combs. Higgins 3. No good. Rebound comes down to Bailey, and she was fouled by Maggie Combs.
Number 3, Maggie Combs, her first.
And Eddington is going to come in with those 2 fouls with 1 minute and 4 seconds to go, as Average will go out of the basketball game.
You know, just trying to get everybody a break.
Next foul by Hazard, and that's going to be a walk called on Hatton.
On the Lady Cougars.
I'd say the Cougars are definitely into the double figures in the turnovers here in the first half.
I don't keep those, but I would agree with you.
And really, considering the amount of shot attempts that Hazard has, the Cougars are lucky that it's this close, Manus.
Front Apple turns, spins, and it's blocked by Caudle out of bounds. Looking for the kick out here to Front Apple. Wright was ready for it. Block shot by Baker, and Caudle has it. She sprints out with a dribble, goes in, misses it. Rebound comes down to Eddington. You got Davidson going against Baker. She'll back it out with a dribble.
Smart play.
Combs 3. It's going to be long. Rebound's going to come down to Davidson. Goes into Front Apple. Kick to Combs. Nowhere to go as Bailey stops it. Higgins into Front Apple, turns, pivots, goes up, and no foul call.
Yeah, both teams.
And there's Baker was on her back through it, and it was knocked out by Hazard.
You know, officials, and it's kind of a catch-22. They're calling it relatively close at the top of the key, but in the paint, man, it's a slugfest.
And this game is really tough to call if you're an official.
Yes, exactly.
12 seconds. Hatton gives it up to Wright to Caudle. Not sure they go into Bailey. She fakes, kick out for Baker. She can get it off. Misses it. Rebound comes down to Eddington, and that will end the first half with the Hazard Lady Bulldogs up 19-11. Come back with us as we will have the Man Toyota halftime show. So 2 minutes, we'll be back.
If you're looking for a convenient pharmacy location with a friendly, caring staff, look no further than Heinemann Pharmacy, located inside the new Heinemann Primary Care Center. Our pharmacy is open Monday through Friday from 8:30 to 6:30, but always stays open until the last patient is seen. Whether you need to pick up your refills in our drive-thru, need a favorite medicine for your little ones, or something to feel better after a visit to the clinic, the Heinemann Pharmacy inside Primary Care has got you covered. Located at 425 Heinemann Bypass. Call the Heinemann Pharmacy at 785-0513.
Come right to the source and get the region's best basketball coverage. HT24 puts you right in the middle of the action, and it's free to watch on Facebook. Watch the state's most exciting basketball right here with HT24.
In Kentucky, we understand what matters: family, friends, community. But sometimes we hurt. At Mountain Comprehensive Care Center, we believe in hope, and Mountain's behavioral health professionals want to be there for you every step of the way. Together, we can overcome the challenges of depression, PTSD, addiction, and so much more. With behavioral health centers throughout Kentucky, your story of recovery begins at Mountain Comprehensive Care Center.
For over 25 years, we've fought for Kentuckians injured through no fault of their own. During that time, we've traveled all across the country to take that fight to some of the biggest insurance carriers and corporations in the world. That kind of dedication is what's needed to get every dollar you deserve. If you've been injured in a motor vehicle collision caused by someone else's fault, call Bates & Sloan right now and let us fight for you. The first consultation is free, and the attorney you see that first day will be the same attorney you see from the beginning of your case to the end. That's our promise to you at Bates & Sloan.
Welcome back to the first semifinal of the girls' 14th region tournament between Letcher Central and the Hazard Bulldogs. Hazard up 19-11, and as we were talking, I don't think the offensive film is going to go to anybody for how to do certain things, but just it is what it is, and a very physical game so far, and a lot of turnovers, a lot of missed shots, and
a lot of turnovers. Did you say a lot of turnovers,
yes,
Manus?
Yes. Where do we go, Jim, for here? Where do we go with Hazard, and where do we go with Letcher Central before I do the stats?
Well,
here?
I mean, you know, the big thing from Letcher Central is take a deep breath. You know, when they have the ball, it's like they're playing hot potato with it, and take a deep breath. Let the offense set up before you start just dribbling, and that's been a big issue for them, and it has been all year. You know, they looked out early in the first 3 minutes of the game. They really
got off to
good.
a 5-0 start.
Yeah, really looked good. And with Hazard, it's defensive pressure. They are pressuring the ball from, you know, one end to the other and pretty much forcing the turnovers. Offensively, you know, Hazard, they've had a lot of good shots, just not getting to fall.
Yeah, and, you know, they're kind of took them out with the box and one to Letcher Central, and you know, Letcher Central not able to get any shots up because of the turnovers. Hazard had some open shots and had some good looks, just unable to knock those down. Let's go to the stats, and first of all, for Letcher County Central, Kara Holcomb picked up 2 fouls, but she has 5 points. Pavlik and Caudle failed to score. Dameron had the 2 points. Hatton played, and Wright and Baker and Stamper played and did not score. Bailey, when they've been able to get the basketball in there to her, she has 4 points, scoring by their quarters. First quarter, Letcher Central had 7, and in the second quarter they had 4 for their total of 11. For the Hazard Lady Bulldogs, Pennington picked up 2 fouls and did not score. Maggie Combs had 2. Higgins picked up 2 and failed to score. Front Apple had 10. Davidson with 3. Average with 2. Eddington picked up, quick 2 fouls and then had her 2 points. Scoring by quarter, the Hazard Bulldogs in the first quarter had 6, and the second quarter they had 13 for a total of 19 points. So we stand at 19-11, and this is since 1975, Jim, this is the 9th time that Memorial Gym has held the girls regional tournament, the most of anybody in the 14th region.
Well, it's a historic venue.
And typically, teams shoot real well in this gym.
And you said typically.
I said typically. We have a very large crowd here tonight, a very well-attended crowd, as we're having a little halftime entertainment, if you can hear that over.
Yeah, we talked about pregame. We know what Front Apple gives us. Now, I do think the box room one has impacted her ability to pass, but I think that, she still scored hers, but they're not getting the point production we saw against Perry Central from the other players.
Yeah, and, you talked about that in the pregame, that they had to get that, and right now they're not getting that. And, of course, it hurt that Eddington picked up those 2 fouls pretty early in the first quarter. So we'll see what Coach Howard has come up with. And, for Letcher Central, they have to value the basketball better.
And that's what it boils down to. We can talk about everything there is to talk about, but it comes down to Letcher Central's inability to hold on to the basketball.
Because, if you hold a team to 19 points, you're thinking, man, we're in a good spot. But, they scored 5. They scored 6 points practically in 2 quarters.
Yep.
So when we come back, we'll talk a little bit more. We'll talk about the other games going on throughout the 13th and 15th region. So stick with us here at the 14th Region Girls, and we'll be right back.
We have determined that you have early onset Alzheimer's disease.
Why me? How could I have prevented this?
Research shows that reducing stress levels, not partaking in substance abuse, and being aware of safety measures are a few ways to prevent it.
So how quickly can this progress?
There's no definitive timeline. Everyone is different.
TVS has made a commitment to bringing you the best channel lineups and most diverse video packages available. We are proud to introduce Broadband TV, our newest and most affordable video package yet. 48 of the most watched channels we offer, some new channels only available with this package, and over 300 of the best free ad-supported channels available, all for only $29.95.
Hey, it's Kristen, Marketing Manager at Appalachian Wireless. March is here at Appalachian Wireless, and we know that being local is a game changer. That's why we're bringing you slam dunk savings all month long. Whether you're upgrading your device or switching to the region's best network, now's the time to score big. Don't miss out on these deals with Appalachian Wireless, where there's no madness, just game-changing deals. Visit us at AppalachianWireless.com or your nearest Appalachian Wireless retail or authorized dealer location. We are you. We are Appalachian Wireless.
Hey, what's going on, everyone? It's Hunter down here at Walters Mazda Mitsubishi. As the weather warms up, there's no better time to get behind the wheel of a new ride. So y'all can get into one of these Mazda CX-90s as low as 2.9% on 72 months. Or get $4,500 off select Outlanders now until the end of March. Check out these offers and more by clicking the link below or give us a call at 606-437-9810. And don't forget to ask for Hunter.
Remember, when others won't, Walters will.
Welcome back to WYMT and Hometown 24 as we bring you the first semifinal between Hazard and Letcher Central. Immediately after this game, we will have Breathitt County and the Knott County Central Patriots. Jim, tonight, 13th Region Girls play. You have Knott Central in the first game playing South Laurel. And then after that, you have Corbin against North Laurel.
Yeah, and we watched, was it Corbin and North Laurel play?
We watched Corbin and North Laurel, and Corbin and South Laurel is who we saw.
Okay.
But we've seen those 3 teams. We did not see Knox Central, but Knox Central played in the WYMT Classic and watched them there. 4 really good teams to decide the 13th region. In the 15th region, which will be tipping off around 7, it will be Lawrence County and Johnson Central to vie to play the 7th region team. And everyone out there that knows anything about girls basketball, that is Sacred Heart.
Yeah,
probably.
That's a tough draw for the 15th. And Johnson Central, they're the prohibitive favorite over there.
Oh,
and
yeah.
have been pretty much all
year. And they
year.
got the depth.
But that's a tough draw when you're.
That is the toughest draw that you could have gotten. The 14th region will be playing in the state tournament. The winner of the 5th region, by the way.
The Lady Cougars will inbound the basketball.
And as we come back to action, Letcher Central will start their original 5, and Hazard will start their original 5, and it will be Letcher County Central basketball.
Letcher Central, kind of mirrors what they did against Estill in the first half. Second half had a really strong fourth quarter to pull away from Estill. Got to take care of the basketball. Got to work on their spacing.
Goes into Stamper, and she's going to be doubled down, and she's going to walk.
Yeah.
Steps called on the Lady Cougars.
And I think they had a pretty good offensive set there and had Bailey open.
I'm sure that was drawn up by Coach Baker right out of the halftime, and really frustrating for him. And a foul is going to be on Stamper, and that's going to be her first, as Letcher Central was in the 1-2-2 3-quarter trap. Let's see if they're going to stay with the box and one.
Yeah,
it looks like they are. Goes to Eddington. Eddington brings it back out to Average.
Hazard very patient right now, looking for the open shot.
Pennington left wide open, turns and puts it down.
And we saw Pennington several times this year hit that 8 to 10-foot shot.
And Letcher Central just left the basketball. And that's going to be another turnover as Front Apple, 1 against 3, decides to back it out. Davison cross to Eddington, misses it. Nice pass by Davison, as you said, Jim. It is a nice bounce pass on that baseline. Bailey with a rebound.
And, nice little handoff to Dameron.
That's going to be 2 points for Dameron, and that gives her 4.
But we say, come out first 2 possessions. The Cougars turned it over both times.
Eddington behind the defense, and she will lay it in. Front Apple with the assist. Dameron bringing it up. Goes to Stamper. And she is fouled.
And that's going to be on.
I believe that's on Eddington.
It is?
Nope. Correct me on that.
First.
That's on Average, and that's going to be her first. Thought for a second that was Eddington's 3rd. Kick out to Caudle on the elevator screen, goes straight in, and Pennington held her place. Goes into Stamper. Stamper, it's knocked away, and it will be Letcher Central basketball.
Yeah, those quick hands of Hazard, when you put the ball on the floor, they're going to have somebody right there smacking at it.
And usually tonight's been Davidson coming off her person. Holcomb 3, and it's good.
Big basket for the Kara Holcomb.
Give Holcomb 8, and that's her second 3-pointer on the night, 23-16. Skip all the way across to Davidson, goes in, and it's lost. Holcomb to the floor. Stamper, and
very, very physical.
Taken away, and Eddington will put it in. Story of the night so far.
Yeah, 3 turnovers for Letcher Central already in the second half.
Stamper goes into the lane, goes up off the board, misses it. Eddington with a rebound. Front Apple in the open floor, knocked away from her.
The lead now 9 for the Bulldogs with the basketball. Front Apple to throw it in under the basket, goes into Pennington, knocked away by Bailey.
Caught a left-hand dribble down the sideline. Beers back in. Holcomb three-pointer. Good. 2 in a row for
Holcomb keeping the Cougars in the game right now with some sharp shooting. But on the other end, they've got to make a stop.
Yes. Front Apple long three. Good.
Oh,
she matches
nice shot as she come off the screen.
13 for Front Apple.
And Cougars, even though they've improved their offensive efficiency, they can't gain any ground.
Dameron, three-pointer. Good.
Got it.
Give her 7.
Lead down to 6.
As the action picks up now, the teams are making a few baskets here. Pennington looked to shoot the 3. Letcher Central fans calling for a double dribble, and that's going to be a 30-second timeout by Hazard, as Hazard still having trouble against the box and chaser of Letcher Central.
Yeah, you take the ball out of Front Apple's hand. It's kind of like, who is going to step up and run the offense.
And, the thing about running a box and chaser a lot of times, too, you're trying to wear down the person you're chasing. And you mentioned earlier when you have one person, then another person rotates to them, that's trying to wear them down. And not only are you trying to wear them down physically,
but just frustrating.
And it frustrates you. And, of course, Front Apple has still been able to come up with 13 points. Letcher Central been able to find, if they don't turn the basketball over, they've been able to find some shots now.
And, all game, when they've got into the rhythm of their offense and not turned it over, they've been efficient. It's just the fact that
they've doubled their score here in the first 3.5 minutes of the third quarter. Yeah. They had 11 at halftime, and now they have 22. As a little bit of moisture being wiped up, and we'll start here with Maggie Combs. To Davidson, left wide open. She knocks it down.
Davidson, a really steady shooter out there.
Give her 6. And here comes the pressure once again by Hazard. Caught on the Dameron. Left-hand dribble into the lane. Somebody needs to present himself, and it's going to be knocked away, but Dameron rescues it across to Caudill for the jumper, and it will go. First 2 points for Caudill.
And back into this press here.
Davidson into the lane to Combs, and she'll back it out. And overguarding foul is going to be called on Dameron.
That's her second press.
That's her second.
But, even though the efficiency for Letcher Central's picked up, so has for Hazard.
Yes. But, when you're pressing, you're going to open up some gaps that you haven't been opening up by playing half-court defense. Everidge goes to the baseline. Kicker Combs thought about it. Everidge will take it, and she will knock it down. Give her 5.
Both teams are finding the basket now, and actually Bulldogs with their largest lead of the game.
Yep, up 10. Stamper, they leave the basketball off the board, misses it. Fight for the rebound. Eddington's got it, and Davidson's behind the defense, but Eddington did not see her.
Looks like Letcher Central looks a little fatigued here.
Goes to Eddington off the board, blocked by Stamper. Caudill pushing it up the right side, and it's going to be a timeout for Coach Baker, and it'll be a 30-second timeout. 3:01, 34-24. Thank you for viewing in tonight on WYMT Hometown 24.
Yeah, once again, they kind of, the last 3 minutes, not turned the ball over as much.
No.
Got into their offense, made some buckets, but on the defensive end, everybody, we talked about those complementary players chipping in, and, Everidge hits a 3. Davidson hits a 3.
She hits a 3, so Hazard 3 3-pointers in the third quarter, and Letcher Central 3 3-pointers. But Letcher Central, you can't just trade baskets.
No.
That's a little cliche, but that's exactly true. They can't do that. So let's see what Coach Baker out of the timeout draws up. Shout out to Ryan Foreman, Tim Eldridge, Bumper Adams sitting there probably in his reclining chair.
Oh, yeah.
Dameron being pressured by Davidson into the lane, and they're going to call a foul. And that foul's going to be on Davidson, and that's going to be her second.
And the team's second.
Holcomb comes and gets the basketball, goes to the floor, throws it off of Davidson, does Dameron, and Letcher Central will have the ball on the sideline.
You know, it just seems like they find those corners and allow Hazard to trap and put pressure on the ball handler.
Got to throw it in, and it's knocked, and Stamper finally rescues it. Tries to go in between, kicker to Holcomb. Caudle, three-pointer, good. Caudle with 5 in this quarter.
4-3 of the second half for the Cougars, but got to get a stop on defense if they want to stay in this game.
And there's going to be a knockaway, and there's a steal. Holcomb goes in. He's bodied up by Everidge, and she will go to the line. Second foul on Everidge.
Number 11, Everidge.
Holcomb 2 of 2 from the line so far in this basketball game. Has 11 points.
Yeah, Holcomb's played a good game offensively tonight.
First one is good.
And from 10 quickly to 6 right here.
Aided by that 1-2-2 three-quarter press. Second one is long, rebound to Everidge. They leave the basketball. Everidge elected not to take the shot. Screen by Eddington, 3, good.
Nice shot. And that was the Everidge we saw against Perry Central.
And you know, when you go under the screen, it allows you to shoot that wide open 3. Kicker to Caudle. Caudle thought about it. Floater doesn't go. There's Bailey off the board, misses it. Rebound to Eddington. Front apple in the middle of the floor looking. Yeah. No look pass to Eddington off the board and in.
Nice. And I don't know if I've seen a lot of girls teams that fill the lanes as good in transition as Hazard does.
And Eddington runs it as well as any 4 or 5 in this region.
And automatically the lead back up to 11.
And that's going to be a steal by Front Apple, and she is fouled after the steal.
Foul is on Letcher Central. Number 5.
And just like that, the lead increases back to 11. Dameron will pick up her 3rd foul. One minute, 23 seconds to go. 39-28, the Hazard Lady Bulldogs. Combs coming off the screen, leaving it Everidge wide open, doesn't go. Rebound comes down to Stamper, pushing it up. Stamper, nice look, and there is Front Apple with a block. It was a nice look. Yeah. Bailey just was unable to get it off. And looks like Holcomb is battling for it. This makes the steal, gives it to Caudle. Caudle veers off. And
it's hard to throw in when you've got a front and a post on the defender right there.
She was left wide open. She probably should have took it or at least allowed them to come out on it. There's 2 people there, Jim. Somebody in front and someone behind.
And that's kind of that hot potato concept that we've been, just to take a deep breath. If you can't make the initial play, back it out and reset the offense.
Higgins back in the basketball game for the Lady Bulldogs.
Higgins has been very effective defensively.
Backs off Holcomb. She comes up short. Rebound comes down to Front Apple.
The Bulldogs going to slow it down right here.
As we near the 30-second mark, still left in the 3rd quarter. Everidge, no. But there's Addington to put it back in. Addington, 8 points in the 3rd quarter to give her double figures with 10.
Addington is just, she's tough in there and plays the game really well.
Biggest lead thus far by the Lady Bulldogs at 13, and Everidge did not get out there. And Everidge will get her 3rd foul, and that's going to be the 4th team foul for Hazard, so the next foul will result And free throws. Pavlik comes in with 10.6. Looking to get it in, comes into Holcomb. Nowhere to go. 5 seconds.
5 seconds.
Not sure. Pavlik puts it up, and it's not going to go, and that will end the third quarter. 41-28, and we'll be right back for the fourth quarter of the first regional game tonight, semifinal. So stay with us.
When getting the job done right is job one, you need construction equipment that's built right. With durable Kubota engines, more comfort, and the versatility to do it all. From compact track loaders to the world's #1 selling compact excavator for 20 years, the Kubota construction lineup is ready to work. Visit your local dealer today.
Visit Holbrook Equipment at Exit 40 off the Mountain Parkway in Campton.
Great communities attract talented people to live, work, and raise their families. We're committed to delivering future-proof broadband so our friends, families, and neighbors can live rich lives in smart rural communities across America. Your community is our community. We're your rural broadband partners. You do great things. We make great things possible.
Welcome back to Historic Memorial Historic Memorial Gym. That's the first time I've done that.
That's all right. We've been everywhere.
A Glory Road Gym, one of the best and most historic gyms of all of Kentucky and the nation. 41-28.
Now, Manus, if you're the Cougars, you've got to ramp up your defensive pressure now. I mean, it's 13.
Yeah.
But you're really going to have to call some turnovers early in this fourth quarter to get back in the game.
And they're going to have to find some easy points somehow. Goes into Eddington going against Stamper. She bulled her way in, missed it. Rebound to Higgins. Pump fake by Everett. Step back three. Doesn't go. Rebound's going to come down to Pavlik.
Very confident right now, though, Everett is when she gets the ball.
She picked up her third foul there late in the third quarter. Dameron coming off the double staggered screen goes in, and it doesn't go, and she will knock it out of bounds, and it will be Hazard basketball.
Yeah, and Dameron had a pretty good look that time.
Just had a lot of spin on it, and it just did not go. Large crowd here so far at Memorial. Just waiting on the second game to start as well as Combs.
Yeah, Dameron nearly picked up her fourth right there.
Yep, I was getting ready to say.
Yeah, Pavlik's did a good job defensively.
Front Apple not been able to get around Pavlik, and Higgins knocks the three down.
We talked about that. Pregame we talked about Higgins, only an 8th grader, really got a bright future in this Bulldog program. And let me tell you, the Bulldogs going to be stacked next year, Manus.
Yes, sir. Pavlik with the basketball. Goes into the lane, puts it up, rolls, and it goes in.
Quickly back into the press.
And now it's the 1-2-2 full court press. Front Apple with the basketball behind the back. Fakes, nobody there. She goes up, and she is fouled by Dameron, and that's going to be the 4th foul on Dameron. Front Apple will go to the line, where she is 2 of 3 so far, 13 points.
They pulled their post up high and opened that lane up where it's one-on-one. And Front Apple, when she gets close to the goal, she's got a knack for drawing the foul or getting the bucket.
And, she did that little head fake, thinking she was going back to Eddington, who set the screen. Wright is going to come in for Stamper as Coach Baker elects to keep Dameron in there with 4 fouls.
Well, I mean, at this
but with
point,
15 points,
you've got to make a run.
She's the primary ball handler as Front Apple knocks both of them down, giving her 15.
Now you're looking at Hazard going to come out and trap out of this.
Probably more so than not. Let's see with Dameron bringing it up. Dameron goes in, kicks it to Wright, and Wright's going to be called for steps. Front apple all the way across to Higgins, middle of the floor to Combs, and she'll bring it back out, and Holcomb with a steal. Pavlik with it, going man-to-man. 15-footer comes up short, and it will go out of bounds. Hazard basketball. Average to Higgins, to Combs. Average, front apple, 2 against 1. Puts it up, good.
Nice shot. Really hard to press this Hazard team. They have such good spacing and handle the ball so well.
And especially front apple's getting the ball up at the half court area, which allows her to be the one that devils it out or score. Back to Dameron, kicker to Caudill, 18-footer, good.
A nice shot by Caudill, long 2.
Gives her 7. Here comes the pressure. Dameron cannot foul. Addington steps to it. Look all the way to Higgins. Higgins puts it off the board and good.
You know, when you're pressing, you're just leaving. They're going to find the open player every time.
Well, if you've got the numbers, once you break the initial press, you've got the numbers, and then do you convert it? Holcomb, long 3. Good. Give her 15.
A 15-point lead here as Keith Baker calls a timeout.
And it's going to be a full timeout, and we'll take a break. 50-35, Hazard Bulldogs. Stay with us.
My name is Emily, and I'm from Laurel County. When I was searching for a college, I wanted to find a place that felt like home and where I could make a difference. The moment I stepped on Alice Lloyd's campus, I knew this was where I belonged. There's a sense of community here and a focus on serving others that you can't find at other colleges. For me, it wasn't just about continuing education. It was about being a part of something bigger. Apply now to find your home at alc.edu.
For over 100 years, the Bank of Hyman has been committed to serving our community and serving the future of our families, homes, and businesses. With our new convenient online banking, viewing your account balance and history, transferring money, and paying bills has never been easier or more secure. And with the construction of our new headquarters, we've renewed our promise to Hyman to stand by our customers even in troubling economic times, because we're not just your bank, we're your neighbors. That's the Bank of Hyman. Log on to www.bankofhyman.com or give us a call at 606-785-3158.
As we come back, Coach Baker with a timeout. Letcher County Central in desperation mode with 4:59 to go in this first semifinal. Second semifinal, Knox County Central and Breathitt. About 25, 30 minutes, and here we go, man-to-man.
Yeah.
You were right. Front apple with the basketball, and she will break the man-to-man pressure. Straight man-to-man now by Letcher County Central.
Yeah,
and they leave front apple, and she puts it in.
Yeah, that's the
19 points. And, you know, you cannot leave her for no amount of money.
No.
Wright will dribble to the center of the floor. Nobody
Nice
takes her.
move by
She goes
Wright.
in, and it comes out.
Yeah,
I was
really
getting ready
nice
to say
move.
nice shot. 3 against 1, average with her head up, but she didn't. She lost control of the dribble. Goes into Addington, gives it up to
pass.
Combs, and she will put it in.
And we've said it all year. Hazard is arguably the best passing team in the region.
Yeah.
You know, Front Apple, exceptional passer, but not to take
But
anything
that-
away from her teammates.
But
They all
that
pass
leads
the
it
ball
too.
well.
As Holcomb misses it. Rebound's going to come down to Pavlik. Kicker to Holcomb. To Dameron. Dameron 3. And Banks doesn't go. Nice box out by Everidge. As we go under the 4-minute mark. Long pass to Higgins. Reverse. Misses it. Had the right idea. Just did not convert. Holcomb left. 3-pointer. Doesn't go. Rebound's going to come down to Front Apple, and Holcomb will foul her with a third foul for the night on her. 3:40,
Lead up
54-35.
to 19 for the Bulldogs.
Longest lead of the night.
And, you know, when Letcher Central went to the press, then they really stretched it out because such a well-oiled machine passing the ball.
Average into the lane and unselfish as Eddington puts it off the board, misses it, and Caudill will get the rebound. Gives it up to Wright for the 3, misses it. Rebound comes down to Addington.
Yeah, I look for the Bulldogs this time to take a little air out of it.
And Coach Howard calls out a signal to Front Apple, and that's exactly, you're right. Looks like the old four corners.
And the thing is, Front Apple had a wide open
avenue
to the basket right there.
Call not pressing Front Apple that much. They'll run a little bit of the weave. Higgins picks her dribble up, back out to Combs.
You know, after the first quarter, the Bulldogs have played an excellent ball game tonight, Manus.
Yeah.
A little shaky off the bat.
Missed a few shots they probably should have made. Front Apple gives it up to Eddington, and she'll put it in.
For Eddington.
Eddington with 12.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Dameron with a shot, misses it. Rebound comes down to Average. Front Apple backs it up at the 2-minute mark. Letcher Central electing not to foul.
I mean, a 21-point lead for the Bulldogs. I don't know if there's a whole lot that the Cougars could do at this point.
Gives it up to Front Apple, gives it to Eddington, and she will lay it in for 14. And Coach Baker will clear his bench with 142. And Coach Howard will do the same thing. The Hazard Lady Bulldogs will move to the championship game Saturday night at 7 p.m.
They're going to be a hard out, Manus.
And
playing in this gym.
And they will await the winner of the second game between Knott County Central and Breathitt County. Letcher Central's seniors had a nice career over the last 4 to 5 years.
Oh, yeah.
Nothing to be ashamed of. Just didn't have it tonight. And that's a steal by Olinger for the Lady Bulldogs. Only starter in the game is Pennington for the Bulldogs. Left-hand shot, and the rebound's going to come down to Jones, but Hatton steals the basketball out in front. Hatton's going to go in left hand and misses it. And Howard shoots it, misses it, and it goes out of bounds, and it will be Hazard basketball. Front Apple. 59.4, and Maddie Front Apple will be the Alice Lloyd College player of the game, as Coach Baker makes sure that he gets all of his girls into regional play. 58-35. And stay with us for an interview with Coach Howard and Maddie Front Apple. Ball goes into Jones. As we go under 40 seconds.
You know, I was, Maddie, we saw her pass the ball so well this year, but, tonight she really, big time game and had a really nice game offensively from the point stand.
And, Coach Baker tried to take that away by playing that box and one, and, I didn't see her get really, really frustrated with anything, and that's hard for a freshman. And she don't play, as most of you guys out there know, she doesn't play like a freshman.
No, and she started, this is her third year starting.
Yeah, it's hard to believe.
We've been calling her name. By the time she's a senior, we'll probably be, who knows? I mean, she's going to be a household name here in the region.
Oh, yeah. And June Quillen was out on the ball, came back to her, and Hazard will take it on.
You think if we texted Greg Kahn, he'd bring us some more fried chicken over here to Hazard tonight? Because I'm starting to get a little hungry, Manus.
I saw Eddie Brown, we might have hollered at him.
You probably get a cracker and bologna from Eddie.
And that will end the basketball game as the Hazard Lady Bulldogs will move on into the next round, championship round, 58-35 over the Letcher County Central Cougars. And when we come back, We'll do a few stats, and then we'll move on up for Wes and the guys talking to Coach Howard and Maddie Frontapple. So stay with us. We'll be right back.
What keeps you going? Your love for the game? Your teammates? A victory? At ARH Orthopedics, our goal is to keep you pain-free so your body can keep going. There's no time for discomfort in your joints or ligaments caused by an injury. ARH Orthopedic providers specialize in treatment plans, from non-surgical and surgical options, so your care is entirely centered around you. Visit arh.org/ortho to find an orthopedic provider near you. ARH, more for Appalachia.
No matter what town or community you live in, there's a Tim Short dealership nearby. That's because our family of dealerships are dedicated to serving the folks throughout Eastern Kentucky. Our employees are your friends and neighbors, helping to support the local economy and provide safe and affordable transportation to everyone that shops the family of Tim Short dealerships. Our entire inventory can be found with a click of a button at timshortautogroup.com. Visit us online and join the thousands of customers that took the short drive to satisfaction today.
Hi, I'm attorney David Johnson. You may recognize me from some of our other ads, but injuries from an auto accident are no joking matter. With over 25 years of experience, our offices have the resources and expertise to go head-to-head with big insurance. While most of our cases get resolved without going to court, trust me, they know if the attorney you choose will take it this far. Either way, our clients get paid. So for all your legal needs, get the pros on your side.
Home sweet home. At First Federal Savings and Loan of Hazard, we've been providing our friends and neighbors the sweet dream of homeownership since 1960. We're proud to support the community we work and live in. That's why we take so much pride in providing competitive rates, low closing costs, and quick turnaround by local decision makers. Investing and growing our community is what we do. At First Federal Savings and Loan of Hazard, we believe that there's no place like our home. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Welcome back as the Hazard Lady Bulldogs advance to the championship game at 7 o'clock Saturday night. And Maddie Frontapple, Jim, just scored her 1,000th point in this game already as a freshman.
Yeah, I did reiterate that as a freshman.
We didn't even know that coming in, but congratulations to Maddie and continued good luck for her, Coach Howard, and the rest of the game. Quickly, the stats before we go up top. Letcher County Central was led by Kara Holcomb with 15, Emma Pavlik with 2, Molly Caudle with 7, Paige Dameron with 7. Scoring by quarters, they had 7, 4, 17, and 7 for a total of 35. For the Hazard Lady Bulldogs, Pennington had 2, Combs had 4, Higgins with 5, 19 from Frontapple, 6 with Davidson, 8 with Everidge, Eddington with 14, scoring by quarters. Hazard with 6, 13, 22, and 17 for a total of 58. And once again, a big congratulations to Maddie Frontapple, who scores 1,000th point here in her freshman year.
Yeah, that's very impressive. And, you know, we talked about that she had started pretty much since the 7th grader. And as she gets stronger, faster, and more knowledge, she's just going to become a bigger threat.
And we're waiting on Wes Smith, and I think he's got coach. And we'll send it up to Wes.
What a game. We are back up here with Coach Howard of the Lady Bulldogs and our UK Healthcare North Fork Valley Clinic player of the game, Maddie Frontapple.
Thank you.
I want to start, Maddie, over here with you. You're going into the championship game now. How proud are you of your team at this moment?
I'm so proud. We've came a far way from where we first started. Letcher's beat us out the past 2 years, so we knew this is our year and get to the championship.
Absolutely. Coach, we talked the last game about survive and advance. We're going on. You're in the championship game now. How's it feel?
It hasn't really sunk in yet. Talk to me in about 10 or 15 minutes. But, it's just a heck of an environment. Look at the environment here tonight. Oh. And people complain about, Memorial Gym and all this, but that gone. Give me a 14th region semifinal game like this, the atmosphere, it doesn't get any better.
I have no idea what they're complaining about. We talked pregame about how the 14th region is one of the last regions, especially in mountain basketball, to still play at a high school gymnasium.
Yep.
What does that mean for you all to play this region tournament and coming up in the championship game here at your own gym?
It feels great. We have the best fans and environment, so they always stick with us. So.
Absolutely. So, Coach, you got a tough matchup coming up here against the winner of this game here between Knott County Central and Breathitt County. What do you think looking forward to that matchup?
Well, I mean, both teams are different. I mean, obviously you got Kyra McElornis, Player of the Year. I don't know that anybody's been able to stop her all year. And so, and then you look at Breathitt County with Lexi. She's a heck of a ball player. And I thought the other night against Perry, Breathitt had some kids step up, and
absolutely.
I think some people might be writing Breathitt off, but I don't know, man. They come out and play like they did the other night, and anything can happen. So we'll watch this game, and then we'll prepare for whoever, and just go from there with it. We like our chances, just like Maddie said. I mean, it's basically like a home game for us. It is a home game for us, and I think it's going to be a heck of an environment, whoever we play tomorrow.
I'm sure it's exciting to look up there and see all of your community and your fans up there cheering in an atmosphere like this. Maddie, I want to talk a little bit about your court vision. I bragged on you before the game. I feel like your court vision, especially in transition, is unbelievable. You always seem to look ahead, find your teammates in the open court. What kind of trust does that entail to be able to know I can get this up ahead to my teammates and they're going to finish for me?
Yeah, I know whenever I see an open player up the court, I can pass it to them. I know they're going to make it. We work together every day in practice, so I just know they're going to make it and give me the assist.
So what kind of hard work, Maddie? I keep thinking back, and I don't even know if you remember, but back when I was coaching at Jim Buchanan back in the day, a long time ago, you were so little, and now I'm out here watching you just be an absolute baller on the court. What was that like growing up? What have you done to put in all this hard work to get you where you are here today, helping your team make it to the region championship?
Yeah, I'm in the gym every day with my trainers, Carla and Todd. He's there all the time. Whenever we ask him to be in the gym, he's there working with us, so everybody just pushes me.
Does she have to run for calling you Todd instead of Coach Howard?
No, listen, this is a new day, new time. I don't care what they call me as long as they play hard and they're coachable. And these kids today, it's different. It's a different era. And so, you've got to be willing to let them have a little bit of freedom. It's like the shoes. I mean.
I noticed it. Yeah.
I mean, these kids all got different shoes and those things, and the old school mentality is, all right, everybody's got to look the same. My thing is if these kids are confident and they're comfortable in what they're doing and they're playing their hind ends off, I could care less what they play in.
Absolutely, absolutely. Coach, we talked a little bit, Maddie, you can chime in on this too. We talked a little bit about Coach Baker and Letcher County's zone defense. He always throws out different zones. Mm-hmm. What was your preparation like looking forward to this game? Letcher County also can put up a lot of points.
Absolutely, and we knew that they could shoot the ball and they could score the ball. First half, we was trying to run them off the line from three because we didn't want them to get going. Sometimes teams like that, they start hitting. You've seen it in the second half. They got a little confidence, and we were trying to. At first we were going under the ball screen, then we was trying to trap, and then we was, trying to do some other things to throw them off, and then we got out of position and gave up some shots. But we also knew on the offensive end that Coach Baker's been around. He's probably got, I'd say he does have as much experience as all three of the other coaches that are coaching in this regional, in this semifinals. And, we knew he'd come out and try some different things. We kind of felt like that maybe he would throw a little face guard, box and one type stuff on Maddie. And, again, you don't see that in the regular season. And you can prep for it and you can do it, but until you actually get in the game and actually experience it, it's different. It's hard. But we felt like it was coming. We felt like we'd see some zone. Felt like he'd try to press us some. And, like I said, I just thought our girls responded well, kind of got down early. Nerves, shooting the ball 5 feet over the basket and some of those things. And that's just nerves and excitement
Absolutely.
And expectations. And you just got to power through those things.
So our other host, Brady, talked earlier in the game, Maddie, you all are a very young team.
Yeah.
And we talked about how sometimes in these tournament situations, and Coach mentioned the other day your all's experience, he would take over anybody in this region. But Brady brought up a good point earlier with a lot of younger teams. Maybe you don't feel as much of that pressure and things, you play a little bit more loose when you're just a sophomore and you know this is not your last game you'll ever play, right? Do you feel that out there, that sometimes you're able to play a little bit more loose than maybe if you were on a senior-led team and dominated team?
Yeah, I know I have 3 more years after this, and we've been playing together for 3 years already, so we have a lot of good communication and, I forgot the word.
Yeah, I'm following you.
I'm still thinking about the game.
Reasonably so. You should be thinking about that. You're going on to the championship game.
Right.
A lot of feelings. Maddie, I got to ask, I was talking to Coach Crow at Powell County on the boys' side the other night over at Knott County Central. Apparently they have a bet with their coach that if they're able to win this region tournament and play at Rupp Arena, Coach has to shave his beard that he's had growing out for some time. Do we have anything like that with Coach Howard?
Well, our assistant coach Corey said he's going to let us braid his beard in his long hair. So.
I don't have enough hair. I'm going to be bald here before too long.
Corey has a lot more hair.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, I am looking forward to that, and you better hold him to that if it happens, all right? Well, Maddie, congratulations again on being our UK Healthcare North Fork Valley Clinic player of the game. And listen, we look forward to seeing you all in the championship game, and we're wishing you all the best of luck. Keep doing what you're doing.
Thank you.
Coach, thank you all for joining us.
Thank you all. Appreciate you.
Just want to watch the game.
That turned on the ceiling fan. Use the gray remote. Hit power, then input.
It's not working.
That's the silver one.
It might be difficult to understand what all the remotes on your coffee table do. But with a Kentucky Farm Bureau agent in every county, at least it's easy to get great insurance. Kentucky Farm Bureau, big on commitment.
Next time, I'll just go to the game.
A lot has changed in 100 years. We've gone from the Model T to the electric car, from silent film to home theaters, and from the telegram to the iPhone. And through it all, People's Bank and Trust of Hazard has been there for local people. From paper checks to debit cards, from wire transfers to online banking, People's Bank has maintained a tradition of service while embracing the future for your financial needs. Celebrating a century of service to the mountains. People's Bank and Trust. Member FDIC.
TVS Cable has everything you need to stay entertained. Video services with all your favorite channels and local sports on Hometown 24. Ask about digital voice service for home and business. High-speed internet so you never fall behind in a game. There's something for all ages. We've got you covered. Sit back and enjoy everything TVS has to offer. Stay connected with TVS.
Since 1962, Citizens Bank and Trust of Jackson has been proud to serve the community. They care about the people of Breathitt County and are the only locally owned bank in the community. With 2 branches in Jackson and 1 in Beattyville, they're never too far away when you need them. And with the latest innovations in banking, keeping track of your finances has never been easier. Helping to grow Breathitt County as leaders for over 60 years. That's Citizens Bank and Trust, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Whew. Brady, what's your first day in Memorial Gym like after watching that one?
That was a great first matchup. Excited for the next one. I know you guys talked briefly a little minute ago, but I'm excited for this.
Oh, so excited, so excited. We both got to catch up a little bit with Coach Huff and Coach Brandon Hayes a minute ago on our way to the hospitality room to stuff our face a little bit. But I do have to throw out there, I had made the comment, I was calling Coach Huff, Coach Mosley, and I thought I was doing her a favor. And sure enough, I go to the hospitality room a minute ago, and I tell her that I've been calling her Coach Mosley, and I think she was completely fine with that.
She goes by two names. Either that or she was she's locked into the game. That's really it, I think.
Oh, shout out to Coach Casey Huff there and all the guys. And man, listen, I tell you, Brady, we got to talk to our good friend Andrew Ortelli, who is coaching at Temple University now up in Philadelphia on the way down here. And he's in the basketball mode too. It's March. Everybody is in tournament mode. And talking to these coaches here, you get the same exact feeling. These coaches are, man, they're probably running on little to no sleep. They're prepping. They're always thinking about the game they're in currently. And then as soon as that's over, it's on to the next.
Absolutely. And it's about how do you adjust. Game of momentum, like we talked pregame. You saw Hazard go on a couple runs that just kind of blew it open. I think you're going to see something similar this game with Knott County Central. How how are they going to be able to control their runs because if they're a scary scoring team right now.
Oh my gosh. Well, and you heard Coach Howard talk about McEllarnit's Player of the Year here in the region and what Knott Central is able to do. Knott Central is big. They're tall, and it's really hard if they start putting some pressure onto you to get the ball even up the floor. And I think that's something Coach Hayes has probably emphasized this week in practice. Now, unbelievable game, the last game from Lexi Combs for Breathitt County, and I think she's really going to have to play her butt off in this game. Last game she also had some teammates step up, but it's going to take a valid team effort from Breathitt County, I think, to handle this size that Knott County Central has in the pressure.
Absolutely, and they got to beat them three. This is to be the third game.
The third game.
Hard to beat
the team 3 times. We will take you down, not to David Adams this time, because I found out he's playing hooky today on us, but we're going to throw it down to Manus Blair in the group, Brady.
Absolutely.
My name is Isabella, and I am from Madison County, Kentucky. Instead of choosing a larger university, I chose to attend Alice Lloyd College because I wanted a more personal college experience. The small class sizes provide a close relationship between students and professor that isn't possible at any other